You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7. A vehicle catches fire after a head-on collision in Joplin.
But first, we're taking a look at Pitt State's 10th annual automotive skills competition.
And we've got clouds out there this morning, maybe a sprinkle or two. Otherwise, we should be dry, a little warmer, a little breezy. A look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. now on this Thursday, February the 12th. We are almost to the weekend, which is fantastic. And it's, Valentine's Day aside, we're all heading for the same weekend.
Yes.
All right. So it still will be Saturday on Saturday. So regardless of what you're doing, make sure you have an umbrella. And it's going to be a bit soggy. We'll talk about that here in just a few more minutes. But something that is an extraordinarily helpful trade in many situations, automotive repair.
Yes, it's something I wish I knew more about. And 6 area high schools participated in Pitt State's 10th annual automotive skills competition, showing how much they knew about it.
KOAM's Kenny Foreman tells us what the students were tasked with and how it can help shape their futures.
They may only be juniors and seniors in high school, but the PSU staff wants them to gain exposure in various auto-related skills.
Each one of our stations has something to do with the automotive industry, whether it is in a job interview where they're having to present and talk and ask questions, whether it's in diesel performance, whether it is in engine performance, whether it is in brakes, hydraulics, steering, suspension.
Of course, over the past 10 years, the automotive industry has seen plenty of major changes, forcing the instructors to reconfigure the competition.
We used to have the average of 8 modules, and now we have the average of 36 computers on one vehicle. So we've had to evolve this contest over the years to reflect the growth in technology in the automotive industry. And that goes with our scan tools, being able to read the scan tools and diagnose electrical components.
The competition also serves as a networking event for the students to see what Pitt State has to offer. Current automotive management student Carson Davis participated when he was in high school and says the experience helped prepare him for his further education.
It was huge. I had a lot of background knowledge that a lot of my classmates didn't have. I felt like I had almost like a leg up just because of the fact that I'd already done a lot of this stuff before. I'd been around it. It wasn't new.
And even if they don't go the same route, their high school teachers know the skills will still benefit them in the long run.
If a student decides to go into any type of skilled career, these are transferable skills. So if they're not going to measure brakes one day, they're going to measure something one day. But this activity can definitely give them the opportunity to give it a try.
In Pittsburgh, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Pitt State currently offers certificates, 2-year and 4-year degrees through its School of Automotive and Engineering Technology. Certainly a useful kind of set of skills to have.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, I learned some from my dad, and then other parts we just kind of figured out when something would break down. And now there's YouTube videos, and I'm not saying you do have to vet your sources, okay? Yeah. You have to vet your sources.
I trust myself for certain projects. Like, I was very proud of myself. I recently changed out the license plate light on my car by myself. And I was like, look at me go. I figured out how to take it off, how to change it, bought the right one. I was proud.
I will share this very quickly. So I had the first car I bought was a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and there was some transformer, I can't remember what in the world it was for. It was important, but it went out. All right, so if you go by the manual, you had to remove like the entire front end of the car because this thing was mounted on the driver's side wheel well, and you had to take half the thing apart to get to it according to the manual. But there's a Jeep enthusiast site out there, and I learned a lot more about my car from that site than anywhere else. And they said all you have to do is remove the driver's side headlight, and you cut a square hole in the plastic bumper, and it's right there. And so that's what we did. Didn't have to take the whole front end of the car apart. Maybe that's not the best way to do it.
I mean, you do
but
have
it was
a
the
hole
most,
there now.
It was the most efficient way to do it. So again, vet your sources though. Make sure you're getting trustworthy information. And I'm going to try and give you the trustworthiest information I can about the weather forecast. And we will start with the fact that it's mostly cloudy to cloudy. And thankfully, this one's easy because we can look outside with various cameras. This one in downtown Pittsburgh, and there are those clouds. That's the easy part. All right, you can look out your window, and I don't need to tell you that there's clouds because you can look out your window and go, yeah, there are clouds. But what you don't know is some of these clouds could produce some brief sprinkles here or there. Our rain chances from yesterday have dropped less than 10%. But we could, again, get a sprinkle or two from some of these cloudy skies as we head through the day. It was Westco camera 7th and range line. KDOT camera just out to Pittsburgh looking north along 69. Looks good. And our last stop, the MoDOT camera 20th and range line. You can see those clouds out there, a little clearing here and there. Kind of hit and miss on that. Still a little dark out there this morning for 7 a.m. We are starting with 43 in Joplin, 37 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, temperatures above normal. We are, for most of us, let me rephrase that. Sorry, for most of us. Sedan, Neodesha, Parsons, you all are extraordinarily close to, if not right at, normal for this time of year. The rest of us, not so much. We got 30s, we've even got low 40s, and look at Miami as the warm spot there, sitting at 45 this morning. Now, we do have that light breeze, but winds will increase. So Sedan, again, you technically have a 2-degree heat index because it feels like 29 and the temperature's 27. You're not going to notice that, obviously, but technically speaking, you have a heat index. But otherwise, the wind chills are not being significantly impacted by this breeze, but they do feel a little colder. So mostly cloudy skies. A sprinkle is possible between now and heading into the afternoon until these clouds begin to clear out by late this afternoon into the evening, and we'll eventually end up with clear skies overnight tonight. Here's what we've got out the door. 46 by 9, upper 50s by noon. Our highs today warmer, low to mid 60s, and the south winds again occasionally gusting to 20. We've got a really nice Friday ahead of us, even warmer than today, but shower and thunderstorm chances begin working in as we head into the weekend. We'll go over those details with you in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A serious head-on crash occurred yesterday between a passenger vehicle and a semi. Joplin's East 32nd was immediately closed as debris scattered the roadway and the car ignited in flames. The driver was rescued from the vehicle and rushed to a nearby hospital before emergency services extinguished the grass fire that had spread around the car. The car was traveling west and crossed all lanes of traffic, hitting an eastbound tractor trailer. The large cattle guard bumper from the semi was embedded into the front of the car as it continued off the road. A dog inside the passenger vehicle did not survive. A Neosho man has been missing for over a month. Trey Friend was last seen near Lanigan, Missouri. If you have information about his whereabouts, call 911. His family has also requested that if you can't get a hold of emergency services, to contact the family directly. In a statement from the family, they state, quote, "We have to find our boy no matter what it takes." Well, Kansas lawmakers are considering a proposal that could impact anesthesiologist assistants. If passed, AAs would be licensed by the state and also be disciplined by the state, setting up a legal framework including exam requirements, supervision clarifications, and criminal background checks. KOAM's Nellie Lopez spoke with the CEO of Coffeyville Regional Medical Center to talk about the Anesthesiologist Assistant Act and what it could mean for rural hospitals.
We're blessed. We have a full staff of CRNAs and anesthesiologists.
For rural hospitals like Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, CRNAs play a big role in helping serve the community.
As I talk to my colleagues that are in smaller markets like us that are critical access hospitals in rural Kansas, for them, most of them have 100% CRNAs.
Kansas House Bill 2368 is proposing to create the Anesthesiologist Assistants Licensure Act, setting a full licensing and regulation system for AAs under the Kansas State Board of Healing Arts.
This particular bill would give the licensing capabilities for anesthesia assistants. Those anesthesiology assistants can only work with an anesthesiologist.
Assistants that are not usually used in rural areas.
But if you go look at the bigger markets where there's a higher volume level of employed anesthesiologists, yes, they could potentially use those.
But this bill does draw a little bit of concern.
I think the concern from everybody is that we create legislation that would hurt or deter from people going into CRNA training programs. I see kind of both sides of it. I see where it can be a benefit, but I also see where it very easily could be something that could harm the anesthesiologist coverage we already have in the state of Kansas going forward.
Lawrence hopes for any future changes to the medical field. The state considers more than one market size.
Rural hospitals make up the majority of healthcare providers in the state of Kansas. So we need to be writing legislation that supports the rural healthcare facilities that are out there serving. and we can't just be focused on what's beneficial for the larger markets.
In Coffeyville, Kansas, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, they're creepy, they're kooky, and they're coming to Memorial Auditorium. We'll be hearing more about the upcoming production of The Addams Family. Welcome back. We've got Skylin and Omar in the studio, and as you can see, there may be some creepy, some kooky. They're the Addams Family, or Addams Family cast members, we should say. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you guys are decked out in your costumes, so you can tell me a little bit about who you guys are playing.
Well, I'll start. My character is Wednesday Addams, which I know is a common household name in most of America, but this is a little bit different than the classic twist of Wednesday Addams. Usually the dark, decrepit, depressed girl is in love and has a fiancé, but a secret fiancé.
Ooh.
So the whole time she is trying to keep her fiancé happy, make sure her father keeps his end of the deal, and hide everything from their mother, Morticia.
Amazing.
Yes. And I play Gomez Addams, so I'm the dad that's keeping the secret.
Amazing. So can you tell me a little bit about who's putting on this production?
Yeah, so the production is being put on by 333 Theatrics.
Triple Threat is a local community theater group, primarily run by Brianna Clark, who is our beautiful director for Addams Family as well.
Same.
And they do manyest productions. They've done anything from Rocky to Joseph, and they're wonderful and open to everyone and everyone.
Amazing. I know The Addams Family is typically a very exciting musical, and it typically has a huge cast. Is that still the same for you guys?
Oh, yes. We have roughly 30, 40-ish ancestors. That's not the quote-unquote main cast, so add about 7 more onto that, so around 40-ish on stage.
Amazing. What's your guys' favorite part of the show?
That one's really difficult. I have a lot of I get to be on the stage quite a bit for the show.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of moments that I think are really, really sweet and beautiful. I think my favorite part is when I get to sing to Wednesday about life and how difficult it can be.
I know this musical is such a fun take on the Addams Family, and there's a lot of fans who are maybe fans of the classic show or fans of maybe the movies that came out with Christina Ricci. I know the musical is so much fun. For those who are hoping to maybe get to see this new take on it, when and where is it going to be?
So the productions are going to be February 19th through February 22nd. On the 19th, 20th, and 21st, they will all start at 7, and then on the 21st, it will be a 2 p.m. show at Pittsburgh, Kansas, at the Memorial Theater.
Amazing. And if people are hoping to learn more about the show or maybe purchase some tickets, where should they head to?
That is a fantastic question.
We will make sure we have your guys' website linked as well on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll make sure we have your guys' website and Facebook page on there. I'm sure you guys have plenty of ticket information available there.
Absolutely. And tickets are currently on sale, and it would be a perfect Valentine's Day gift if you need a little last-minute something for your special someone.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. Well, thank you so much, Skylin and Omar, for joining us this morning. It sounds like it's going to be a great show.
Thank you so much for having us.
We'll be right back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:18, almost 7:19 on this Thursday morning. And how appropriate, have the Addams Family on. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. So, and then they've got the show this weekend. How about that? If you're superstitious, tomorrow's Friday the 13th. If you're not, then tomorrow's just Friday. And it just happens to be day number 13 of February. As for today, though, we've got those mostly cloudy skies. In fact, we're pretty cloudy across a good portion here. We do have some clearing here and there, but as I discussed, there's more clouds off to the west pushing into our western counties. Now, underneath these clouds, few sprinkles are possible, but our rain chances for today have dropped to less than 10%, and that is because we are now missing those isolated shower chances along the 54 corridor. In fact, future track hinting at no shower chances. But remember, with sprinkles and stuff like that, it's going to be something the future track's not going to pick up on. In many cases, if the precipitation's super light, radar may not pick up on it either, but it's a remote possibility. We're otherwise dry, mostly cloudy, a little warmer today, a little breezy today, and the skies will clear as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, and we are looking at clear skies overnight. And after about 11 o'clock or so tonight, those winds will shift out of the southeast. We start our Friday with clear skies, maybe a cloud or two here or there, but otherwise a pretty decent start to the day. Then we'll start to go partly cloudy heading through the morning, so just a few clouds here and there. The first, really almost 2/3 of our Friday, fantastic. Warmer tomorrow, a light southeasterly breeze, a little more sunshine, looks pretty good. Then, after about 3, 4 o'clock, clouds increase again pretty quickly as well. So we start going mostly cloudy to cloudy. And then about 2 or 3 hours after that, we'll start to see initially some isolated showers. This is 8 o'clock Friday. So we got the clouds. We've got a few showers in northeastern Oklahoma. And then we will see shower and thunderstorm coverage pick up a little more quickly after about 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Showers, thunderstorms, southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, a few showers east of that. But this will very quickly engulf the region as we head into early Saturday morning. So stopping at 5 a.m. Showers, thunderstorms out there for nearly all of us. There could be pauses here and there, but it's not going to be enough for you to say, hey, we can go out without the umbrella. You want to keep it with you. Even if you're not doing Valentine's Day stuff, if you're just heading out tomorrow I keep saying tomorrow, on Saturday, just because you have to, you still want that umbrella. Showers, thunderstorms, again, the first half or so of our Saturday is where we're going to see the more widespread coverage of the rain around the area. As we start heading into the late afternoon and evening hours, we still have showers, we still have some thunderstorms, but they're starting to become a little less widespread, but still quite a few out there. Again, we run out of data at midnight heading into Sunday, but looking at the one that goes a little bit beyond this, we don't need to show it simply because about 2, 3 a.m. Sunday, it's done, it's gone, it's out of here, and then our Sunday looks pretty fantastic. Now, we do need some rain, and at least at this point, we're looking to get some decent rain for some of us, anywhere from 1 to potentially 3 inches as we go through the weekend, so that will be nice. I know it stinks on Valentine's Day, but we really need that rain. Our drought situation is pretty bad right now. The other thing I do want to mention is we've talked about thunderstorms. We have just enough energy to get some thunderstorm activity, but we do not have enough energy, and we don't look like we're going to get enough energy for severe weather, and that is certainly good. We don't need that, but we do need that rain. Westco camera, 7th and range line, mostly cloudy, and this is a great definition of it here. We're going to be low 40s to start, mid 50s though by 11 a.m. Our highs today cruising into the low to mid 60s, and again, south winds occasionally gusting to 20. Skies clearing through the late afternoon and evening hours, clear overnight. Low 40s, maybe some upper 30s. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Southeast winds 5 to 10 again tomorrow. Warmer, upper 60s, low 70s. A mild night thanks to the clouds and rain. Low 50s tomorrow night. Upper 50s, some low 60s Saturday. Got those thunderstorm chances. Clearing out for our Sunday, low 60s. The return of the 70s possible next week with some additional rain chances Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. That's the check of your forecast. Coming up next, this unique comedy night will bring a smile to your face, not only because of the great comedians featured, but also because it's going to raise funds for a significant service project. You're going to hear more from our very own Samantha Walker right after this.
Well, welcome back. We're here at the Cornell Complex in Joplin. I'm joined with Courtney from the Seropolis Club. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for coming and doing this interview with us.
Amazing. Well, you guys have a pretty exciting event coming up soon. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
Yes, we are just a little over a week away from our event. It's the 10th annual Comedy for Camp and S'more, held right here at the Cornell Complex.
So can you tell me a little bit about what the Comedy for Camp is, what that will look like?
Yeah, so Comedy for Camp is next Friday, the 20th of February, at the Cornell Complex here. There's lots of fun stuff that goes on at the event. First of all, it's very clean, family-friendly comedy. We just ask that you be 18 and older to attend. There's live auctions, silent auctions, golden tickets, a chance to win a really cool trip. We have a gift card grab, anything that you can imagine at a fundraiser. I think we've tried to hit all the high points, and we're really excited for people to come join us.
Amazing, and I know it's always a fun night, it's always a funny night. You guys have some great comedians, it sounds like, coming out as well for this year.
Yes, our comedians this year are top notch. We're super excited to bring these nationally touring comedians right here to Joplin. Kevin Farley, you may recognize the name a little bit from a famous brother. And then we have Jodie Fuller. So we're very excited to offer 2 comedians to Joplin this year.
Amazing. And like we've been saying, this is a fundraiser. Can you tell me a little bit about, where the funds from this go to?
Yes, of course it's a fundraiser, but the funds for this go to primarily Camp Seroptimus. We are in our 42nd year of this camp that we host every summer. It is a local summer camp that we put on for Jasper County area foster children. We work with Children's Division to get those kiddos out there, and they get to just have a fun week of being kids. Swimming, fishing, crafts, carnival, all the summer camp things you and I got to do when we were little. So we just recreate that experience for these kiddos. All the funds go to that. And we also do Live Your Dream Awards and Dream It, Be It too.
Amazing. So, after last year, do you guys have a fundraising goal that you're hoping to hit to be able to send the most amount of kids?
So we always try to have around 50 kids at camp. Like I said, this event does fund camp and then those other programs, but the goal for this year is 100,000.
Well, that'll be so much fun. And so for people who are at home watching and they say, this sounds like it's going to be a great event, it's supporting a great cause, where should they go to learn more and see about looking at tickets?
So you can get tickets at givebutter.com/comedy for Camp 10. You can look at our Facebook or our website, or you can contact your favorite Seroptimus member. Everybody's got all the information and we'd be happy to share it with you.
Well, thank you so much, Courtney. It sounds like it's going to be a great event and a very fun night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:31. I'm Samantha Walker. 2026 is off to a busy start for the Reddings Mill Fire Protection District with a spike in structure fires in just the first 6 weeks of the year. Since January 1st, crews have responded to multiple house, chimney, and outbuilding fires and provided mutual aid on several major incidents in neighboring districts, including Carl Junction, Seneca, and others. The Reddings Mill Fire Chief says that a strong partnership with surrounding fire agencies has been critical, especially since volunteer firefighter numbers have dropped statewide. Reddings Mill Fire Department moved to a fully paid department in 2022. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Again, we've got those mostly cloudy skies out there, which you can see from downtown Pittsburgh. Our camera there, Westco camera 7th and range line. It looks kind of neat out there, but it is making it a little darker down below those cloudy skies. We're heading over to the KDOT camera 69-400. Cloudy skies overhead, clear roadways though, which is always a good thing. No snow to worry about. And last but not least, the MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. I got another view of those mostly cloudy skies, and they will remain that way through the day today, at least a good portion of it. All right, 43 in Joplin. We're sitting at 37 in Pittsburgh. Taking a look at numbers around the region. Sedan, you're the cold spot. You've been that way all morning, but you're at 26. But Sedan, Neodesha, Parsons, into the upper 20s here. You are the closest to normal. Sedan, about right on normal. Everybody else is a bit warmer than that. We've got low, mid, upper 30s. We've even got some 40s in Miami, the warm spot at 45. Now, we do have a light breeze. It's going to pick up. So, Miami, your 45 feels like 40. Sedan, it's 26, feels like 25. So these wind chills, not significant, but the 20s are still cold. Absolutely. Low 30s are cold. So a bit of a cold start out there. Now, between now and this afternoon, before skies begin to clear, we could get a few sprinkles from these clouds, but our rain chances overall have dropped to less than 10% because those rain showers we saw along 54 yesterday have left the future track. But it's all right. I know we need the rain. There is rain on the way as we head into the weekend. As we go through the rest of the day, skies continue to clear. We'll have clear skies overnight tonight. We're looking at the mid-40s by 9 a.m., upper 50s by noon, low to mid-60s for those highs. South winds occasionally gusting to 20 miles an hour. Tomorrow will be even warmer than today. Then the clouds increase, then the rain chances increase. We're going to break it all down for you in the full forecast in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Help is on the way for the Nevada Animal Shelter. The ASPCA has awarded $20,000 to boost support for the shelter. The grant will help cover services such as access to veterinary care, spays and neuters, as well as vaccinations. The shelter says expanding access to affordable services is essential to reducing pet overpopulation and keeping animals out of the shelter. Well, the Longwell Museum at Crowder College is showcasing the work of Neosho High School art students in its latest exhibit. Now in its 6th year, the partnership highlights a wide range of student artwork created throughout the school year. The exhibit features everything from acrylic paintings and graphic design to ceramics, collage, paper arts, and even copper plating. They say displaying the artwork in a professional gallery setting gives students a sense of validation and helps them envision a future in the arts. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KYM Morning News. Hershey's is giving fans a chance to bring home the gold with their newest product. In Consumer Watch, some taxpayers' confidential information was accidentally shared with the Department of Homeland Security. A court filing on yesterday by the IRS Chief Risk and Control Officer says the agency mistakenly shared personal information on immigrant taxpayers with the DHS as part of an agreement between the two agencies. The agreement, signed by Homeland Security Kristi Noem and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent last spring, allowed the IRS to share information or on identities requested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. But the IRS reported yesterday it only found 47,000 of the more than 1.2 million names listed, and for less than 5% of individuals. The IRS gave ICE additional taxpayer information, potentially violating privacy rules. The April 2025 agreement set off litigation between the federal government and advocacy groups and was eventually blocked by a federal court in November. But public advocates believe the potentially unlawful release could be used to maliciously target some Americans in the future. Well, flights are resuming into and out of El Paso International Airport now that the Federal Aviation Administration has lifted restrictions. The FAA posted on X that, quote, the temporary closure of airspace over El Paso has been lifted. They went on to say there is no threat to commercial aviation. Passengers were scurrying for options after the FAA halted flights late Tuesday. Originally, the agency was going to keep it closed for 10 days. The FAA gave the green light to have all flights resume normal operations. No word yet on any delays related to the closure. Well, the Day of Love is quickly approaching, but in the digital age, a growing number of people are incorporating digital companions into their lives. But instead of bonding with bots, researchers are revealing how machines might be able to help us demonstrate a special trait that robots can't replace. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look.
With Valentine's Day right around the corner, there's a lot of talk of love in the air. But as more folks start to embrace robot and AI companions, researchers at Arizona State University say the relationship between humans and bots is evolving, but caution how they can't replace the empathy demonstrated by people.
Empathy and genuine kindness, I think, comes from lived experiences, right? I, as a human, can relate when someone feels bad when they're bullied, because as a kid, when I was bullied, I know how that feels. A machine cannot feel that. It can simulate it.
Testing the connection between people and machines, Doctors Maura Scott and Martin Mende examine how patients would respond to a human-robot team in a medical setting.
Patients did not like the robot being the team leader, right? They want the robot, the machine, to be supportive, but not in charge.
Going forward, researchers say robots can help people with their manual labor, giving us a chance to pay more attention to the emotional side of things.
Maybe when there is a patient that is heavy, the robot could help that nurse with lifting, and the nurse can focus on more of the human elements.
Still, researchers say talking to robots can be a very personal experience in some ways.
Working with robots kind of forces us to better understand ourselves and what our needs are, and our own comfort levels and our own worries. And so from that standpoint, working with robots is, I think, very enlightening into the human psyche as well.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:43 now on this Thursday morning. We are starting again with the future track. We got those mostly cloudy skies out there. Those will continue into the afternoon hours. And with those mostly cloudy skies, we could have an isolated sprinkle or two here or there, but not expecting any kind of real precipitation, unfortunately. Our rain chances, the ones we saw along 54, are gone, so any sprinkle chances are less than 10%. Now, as we go later into the afternoon and evening, skies will begin to clear out across the region, and we're looking at clear skies overnight tonight. A light southeasterly breeze tonight into tomorrow. And we start off with clear skies on our Friday, but clouds will start to increase. Initially, not many. We're still mostly clear to partly cloudy by Friday afternoon. But once we get past about 3, 4 o'clock, clouds will begin to increase pretty quickly as well as the expectations. So now we're mostly cloudy to cloudy. And about 2 or 3 hours after that, we'll start initially some isolated showers in the northeastern Oklahoma. We'll start to turn into more scattered showers and thunderstorms as we get closer to midnight, heading into early Saturday morning. And then as we progress through the early morning hours on Saturday, more showers and thunderstorms. They just kind of do that number. They expand. And by 5 o'clock Saturday morning, showers, some thunderstorms across the entire region. And the first half, or even maybe the first 2/3 of our Saturday, it's widespread showers and some thunderstorm activity out there. So a pretty soggy start to the day, continues into the afternoon. So again, if you're heading out for lunch and you're in one of these brief dry slots, bear in mind it will be brief in many cases. So you still want to keep the umbrella handy as we go through the afternoon and evening hours, especially if you're heading out for dinner. We go a little later in the day. We do see that shower and thunderstorm activity begins to wind down just a bit. There's still quite a bit of it by 5, but the later into the evening we go, you can see there's less and less of it by midnight. Still a few lingering showers, and by about 2 or 3 a.m. on Sunday, those showers are gone, and our Sunday looks pretty darn good. So, mentioned thunderstorm activity, and just want to reiterate this to everyone. While we have just enough energy to get some thunderstorms, they won't be widespread. The better chances at this point are in the southern half of our area for any rumbles of thunder. The good news is the little bit of energy that's there is not enough at this time to signal any severe weather. So we're not concerned about that. We haven't really been. Not expecting that to change. I don't want to jinx it, but we're not expecting that energy to increase enough to support severe weather. So I'm not worried about it, but some rumbles of thunder certainly possible. You still want to be cautious with lightning. Thunderstorms don't have to be severe for that lightning to be a hazard. Right, Sunday, or well, by Sunday when we wrap up the precipitation tracker, this is the rain we're looking at through Saturday, about 1 to 3 inches. So it will not eliminate the drought, but it will make a bit of a dent in it, especially if we can get some of that heavier rain, which, again, our thunderstorm chances are better where the heavier rain amounts are. So that lines up with, again, what I was talking about. It's not to say you couldn't get a thunderstorm north of that. It's just they're slightly better in the southern half of our area. Mostly cloudy skies out there right now on the Westco camera, 7th and range line. We're going to start in the low 40s for most of us. Some of you still close to average. Like we mentioned earlier, Sedan's at 26. We'll be in the mid-50s, though, by 11 a.m. We're warming up nicely, upper 50s, low mid-60s for those highs. South winds, again, occasionally gusting to 20. Skies, as I mentioned, will clear through the late afternoon and evening hours. Upper 40s by 10, upper 30s and low 40s tonight with that southeast breeze at 5 to 10. That southeast breeze at 5 to 10 continues tomorrow. We're warmer, upper 60s, maybe some low 70s, thanks to the clouds and that warmer day on Friday. We're a little milder Friday night in the low 50s. Not as much warming taking place on Saturday, still above normal, upper 50s, low 60s. Back to the 60s on Sunday, maybe even some 70s next week with some additional rain chances on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. That is a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
A golden opportunity for man's best friend. Thousands of golden retrievers and their owners gathered in a Golden, Colorado park Saturday for the annual Goldens in Golden event.
That's a way for the canines and their caretakers to mingle, share stories, and celebrate their love for their furry friends. Many of the attendees traveled from across the country for the Golden event, which also featured dog-friendly vendors.
The Golden, Colorado event is considered the largest unofficial gathering of golden retrievers in the world. Organizers say last year more than 3,500 dogs and 10,000 people came out for the major meetup.
Okay, it's the largest unofficial gathering.
So is there an official?
That's what I was just wondering. Is there an official gathering of golden retrievers.
Research must be done after this show.
This requires some investigative journalism on
Yes.
our part. We're going to have to go find out. Well, in the meantime, one popular chocolate brand is giving Team USA fans the opportunity to earn a sweet medal of their own as they cheer on the team at the Winter Olympics. Hershey's Chocolate has created chocolate medals wrapped in gold foils for fans to bring home some of their own gold.
The company says the move is part of its new campaign, Hershey's It's Your Happy Place, to promote the belief that happiness is the real gold. The chocolate medals cost about $6 on TikTok Shop starting February 13th and at the Hershey store on February 14th while supplies last. That is the only gold medal I would ever be able to obtain.
I don't have $6, so I can't even get that. Do they have like a cheaper bronze or silver medal I can go for?
It's just this tier system.
Yeah, I would hope so. All right.
Well, hot couture or hot potato. New York Fashion Week opened with one of its most unexpected runway moments yet, a couture collection fashioned entirely from burlap Idaho potato sacks.
It's a fun thing to say. Models strutted the hot potato collection down a catwalk in NYC's Grand Central Terminal, dazzling curious commuters while generating awareness for the No Kid Hungry campaign. Known for engaging potato lovers in unique and delicious ways, the hot potato collection is an extension of the Idaho Potato Commission's mission to weave Idaho potatoes into America's pop culture fabric.
The sculptural high fashion collection includes flowing gowns, tailored suit silhouettes, and architectural detailing, elevating the potato sack into wearable art, reframing it as both cultural symbol and creative canvas. In 1951, Marilyn Monroe famously posed in an Idaho potato sack, and that later became fashion folklore.
75 years later, that material returned to the NYFW runway, reimagined by an Idaho-born designer. The IPC partnered with No Kid Hungry, a national campaign working to end childhood hunger, with select dresses from the collection being auctioned to help feed children across the country.
The event also included a culinary component created in partnership with Grand Brasserie, featuring Idaho potato-inspired hors d'oeuvres that extended the collection's themes of craft and origin from runway to table.
All right, so now here's the deal, though. If you're in Indiana, you would call this the Haute potato.
Haute.
Because that's how they say Terre Haute. It's spelled the same way, so this is the Haute potato collection. Well, a California man is facing trafficking charges after federal agents found more than 40 pounds of marijuana in his suitcases, more than one, at the Atlanta airport last month.
U.S. Customs and Border Patrol said the 41-year-old man was bound for France. Agents approached him as he was waiting at his departure gate at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Inside 2 checked bags, agents found vacuum-sealed packages containing a green leafy substance that tested positive for marijuana.
Now, transporting drugs across state lines or out of the U.S. is illegal under federal law. That's a lot. Why do people really, truly, honestly think that they can do these things? And this isn't James Bond. These aren't spy movies. You're not one of those.
And it's not a small amount either.
Right.
And that's the thing that gets me. It's not like, oh, he had one little thing in one of his suitcases. No.
He's got all of his suitcases filled
with marijuana. 40 pounds of it.
40 pounds.
I mean, it could have been something as simple as like, they were like, hey, buddy, you're overweight. First thing he does when he gets in there. And because he had 40 pounds of marijuana.
Yeah, okay. Whatever, I guess. He didn't succeed. So that's the reminder, though, is you may see it in the movies and they get away with it. Will not function in real life. We'll have another look at your forecast and wake up recap right after this.
Here's your Wake Up recap for February 12th. Your top stories to start your day. A serious head-on crash occurred yesterday between a passenger vehicle and a semi. Joplin's East 32nd was immediately closed as debris scattered the roadway and the car ignited in flames. The driver was rescued from the vehicle and rushed to a nearby hospital before emergency services extinguished the grass fire that spread around the car. The car was traveling west and crossed all lanes of traffic, hitting an eastbound tractor trailer. The large cattle guard bumper from the semi was embedded into the front of the car as it continued off the road. That's your check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And our forecast for today, low 60s out there, mostly cloudy skies. Could get a sprinkle or two through the morning into the early afternoon. South winds gusting to 20, but again, our rain chance is extremely low. Skies will begin to clear late afternoon into the evening hours, and clear skies overnight tonight, back in the upper 30s, low 40s, and those southeast winds 5 to 10. Those winds continue tomorrow. We'll start clear, going partly cloudy, and then late in the day, after about 3 or 4, clouds increasing. Ahead of it, though, upper 60s, low 70s, and with the clouds and rain Friday night, leaves us very mild, low 50s. Showers, thunderstorms building in late tomorrow night, continuing through the day on Saturday, and then wrapping up early Sunday. And again, while we have those thunderstorm chances, there's no severe threat at this time. Temperatures continue their above normal trend, though. Next week, we've got 60s and 70s with rain chances next Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. So a lot of nice warm weather out there. And again, remember the rain, keep the umbrella handy, and yeah, be ready for a soggy Saturday. But it's rain we desperately need in the 4 states. So
very much, and it's not frozen.
It's not frozen, and it's not expected to be severe. So good notes on that end.
Amazing.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We will be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.